Hi guys, welcome back to our podcast. I'm here with lovely Miss Rose, and I, of course, am Fabiana and I'm from the Biotechnology Medical Science program, and I'm just going to be having a wonderful conversation with Miss Rhodes here. Um, for one of my first questions is, how did it all start? I know that you're a principal, but has it always been something that you've been passionate about, as in like becoming a leader, or like did that start from like the root of like elementary school? Like, tell me where it started.
I think if you asked the middle school version of me
Yeah.
what I was going to do, I never would have replied that I was going to be a high school principal.
Yeah.
I think I was really drawn to teaching for a lot of different reasons.
Mm.
I think making an impact has always been something that's really important to me. One of my very best friends in high school had to take Algebra 1 3 times, and she was on the verge of not crossing the graduation stage.
Yeah.
And I ended up tutoring and helping her with her Algebra 1. And it made me think maybe I should be a teacher. It made a big impact on my friend. She was able to graduate. And I started thinking about teaching. In my mind, I was going to be an English teacher because
Mhm.
I love a good story. And I
Me too,
thought,
honestly. It's really refreshing, especially like opening up a good book. Like I feel
yes,
like it's so underrated, especially like just literature itself. But I
it's so
completely
true.
understand what you mean by that. Yeah.
And the power of a person's story, and if you can
Yes.
unlock someone's story, the difference it can make for them,
Mm-hmm.
or for people around them. So I thought I need to be an English teacher so I can help people unlock and tell their story.
That's beautiful.
It is. I never became an English teacher because at the time when I graduated with my teaching degree, I had a major in English literature. I had a minor in math. And they didn't need English teachers the year I graduated. So I thought, well, I'm going to get my foot in the door teaching math. And then when an English position opens up, I'm there.
Oh.
And I love teaching math so much. And again, I think for me, it's always been about the impact more than anything else. So when I learned that most young people who don't graduate, it's because of failed math courses
Yeah.
and insufficient math credits.
Yeah.
So I started teaching math and I thought, I can't stop doing this because I need to make a difference. And this is where young people need me and my skill set the
Mhm.
most. So I became a math teacher and I loved teaching math. I loved young people. I loved, when you're a math teacher, I don't know if you've had this experience with your classmates, but people come in and they have a belief that's very strong. They
Mhm.
either believe they can do math or they believe they
Yes,
cannot.
I see that a lot, especially like in the classes that just I've taken personally. Like I've noticed that like some of my friends, they're like they struggle in math, and I'm like, I'm here to help you. Like let me help you,
Yes.
and then they're like, it's 'cause, like it's kind of confusing, especially like with like when you involve letters and numbers and even
Right.
shapes. Like it can be just so overwhelming for some people. Even myself, like I've taken like a stats class right now, and I've noticed that. I'm not, good at math that myself, but like I've noticed that like I believe in a person if they truly put the effort and time into something, they could become good at it. It just takes the amount of discipline to be able to, push yourself a little bit. But I completely understand what you mean by that, just the two different mindsets. It's like at first I'm gonna be honest, I was very like, I don't know if this is for me. Maybe I
Right.
should like maybe go down a level or something. But yeah, I completely understand what you mean.
And I wish you could tell that to everybody that they
Yeah,
can work through that.
exactly.
What I saw was that people just had this belief that they couldn't do math. And
Yeah.
for me, I think the best thing I ever did in the classroom as a teacher
Hmm.
is build someone's confidence.
Yes.
I think that was actually the greatest gift because the young people I had the opportunity to work with, they did a great job learning the math I taught them.
Hmm.
But I know they're going to forget half of the things that they learned in math class.
Yeah, that
We
just
all
goes for
do.
everything, honestly. It's like you learn something for like a crunch amount of time, and
Yep.
then once summer hits or a break, you're like, wait,
Yeah.
I have to go back to all my notes again. It's like,
Yeah, you clear that space and you fill it with
yeah,
something else, right?
yeah.
But if you can give someone confidence
Hmm.
to believe in themselves that they can do hard things, no one can take that away from them,
Hmm.
and that's not something that they're going to forget.
Hmm.
And so that was, I think, the best thing I ever did as a teacher.
Hmm.
Still at that point, I had no plan or no intention of being a principal,
Yeah.
but I'm one of those people where if I see something around me that could be better, I can't leave it alone.
Me too. I am the same way. I feel like even when it comes, I feel like it's because like I have a little bit of like OCD when it comes to
Mhm.
specific things. And sometimes when I'm just doing a task itself, like kind of like what you mentioned, it's like I just can't leave it alone. It'll bug me more just leaving it there. It's just like, unorganized, or if I'm seeing a situation, I'm just like, "Ugh, I feel like I should say something, you know? It's like that urge. It's like, you know?
I can relate so much to that.
Yeah.
And that's what I found. I would see myself doing the best that I could for the young
Mhm.
people that were right in front of me, but then I'm looking around at a system that is failing them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't stand it. And so I got involved in leadership at the school level when I was a younger teacher, like early 20s kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then I moved from Salem-Keizer and I taught for 3 years in Boston Public Schools. And when I left, I had been the chairperson of our site council and in all these positions. And I thought, I'm moving to Boston for 3 years. I'm just going to lay low, do my thing, teach my own classes. And I couldn't do it. So I got there and they had different systems that weren't working.
Mhm.
And I just couldn't leave it alone. And so I got involved. I ended up, they needed a communications department. They had no communication systems and things in place. And instead of laying low, like I promised myself, I really had the opportunity to implement some systems that they still use today
Yeah.
in the school I was working
So you
in.
just took that extra step.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I told myself I wasn't going to, and then I couldn't
Yeah.
stand it. It
Yeah.
needed to be done, And I knew people could benefit if we put some systems in place.
Yeah.
And I think I worked my way into leadership because there was always a bigger impact that I wanted to make. And there was always something that could be done, but no one was doing it anywhere.
Mhm.
When you pour your heart and soul into a young person, but you have them for one of their 8 classes,
Yeah.
1 year, the control you have over changing their life,
Mhm.
it just feels so small.
Yeah, and like coming from a student's perspective, I remember I had this one teacher in middle school, and she was my English teacher, and slash avid teacher,
Mhm.
and she had helped me so much. Like if I could see her again today, like I would just thank her, because she had like I was a very stubborn middle schooler.
Mhm.
I was just very like like some middle schoolers can relate to this, but like in the sense of just like it's like you don't really feel like doing the work, or like sometimes you just need that extra motivation, and she gave that to me. She would highlight my goods, like the good things I was doing, my achievements, even the things that I didn't see. Like she would be like, wow, Fabiana, good job with like writing this format, or like I know you struggled in this, but you did this really well. And that to me, like, it changed my perspective in like how I viewed my work, because it realized that, wait, I actually need to give myself a little bit of credit. Like I need to be gentle on myself, because I realize that I am doing a good job. And I know some students out there might feel the same way. And I feel like finding that, it doesn't have to be a teacher, it could be anybody,
Right.
but having that person that can just advocate for you and just just highlight on what you're doing right, instead of all the things that you're doing wrong, really makes a big impact, especially on like how you look at things yourself.
Yeah, and the work she did with you made that change in you, and it's more important than any lesson she taught you on any given day, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was exactly that. It was more of just like, it really just motivated me to do more. And like even the lesson itself, like I had a different perspective about it. Like I went into like writing an essay going, "Ugh, I have to write 5 paragraphs, and I'm only at like I have to be like 700 words, and I'm only at 3."
Right.
But she would motivate me. She's like, take it step by step. Like, remember that you're looking at it being already finished and you haven't even started it yet.
Mhm.
So just looking at it, like taking a sentence by sentence. What are your thoughts? What are your ideas? And having more of just like a motivation that I'm myself putting it into this piece.
Mhm.
And that means a lot to me, especially coming from a person who loves reading and loves a lot of literature.
Mhm.
I take that very deeply, and she motivated me about that. And it was really special to know that there's somebody out there who's looking out for me. And if I could see her today, I would shout out her. And yeah.
Mhm. I hope you do find her and have the opportunity to tell
Yes,
her
me
that.
too, honestly, because
Yeah.
that would be amazing. I would thank her so much, because she's really changed a very big impact in my life and how I view things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think for me, I know that everyone goes into education
Mhm.
because they love young people and they want to make a difference.
Mhm.
And then what I saw around me when I was teaching is I saw people come in, and then when people are in a situation where they don't have the right conditions they need to be successful,
Mhm.
and I'm talking about new teachers and young teachers
Yeah.
coming in,
Yeah.
at some point they make a decision that there's no way to win and they give up trying.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen all around me, and I thought, we need better systems. We need to create the conditions for these people who care and want to help to win.
Mhm.
And I think that's what drives me to be a principal.
Yeah,
I
that's really
think my job is to create the conditions. I feel like I've hired the most talented team of teachers you'll find under one roof anywhere.
yeah.
I think if I'm proud of so many things about CTEC. I'm so proud of the team I've assembled.
Yeah, that's honestly like just coming from a student, like the teacher makes or breaks everything. I feel like sometimes like having like somebody who you can just connect with, like
Mhm.
not even just like as a teacher level, but on just like a person to person level is so impactful on how a student performs. I feel that sometimes a student may come into the classroom very just like discouraged, but that teacher, that one day that can change everything for them.
Mhm.
And I feel like I just see that even at CTEC here, it's amazing. Like I just notice all these teachers, like I walk in the hallway knowing that like I feel like in a different setting almost because it's so great and it's so powerful because I notice that those teachers, like they see me, like they view me as a person and I cherish that truly as a student. Yeah.
And we look for that, and then we try to make the conditions such that that never goes away.
Yeah.
You have 3 teachers here at CTEC,
Hmm.
and they are top notch. I would stack them up against any 3
Yeah.
teachers you bring me from anywhere
Yeah.
in the country. That's how great they are.
They are pretty great. Yeah.
And my goal is always, I feel like I'm a coach. I played athletics in my youth. And
Well,
so,
athletics.
I played a lot of different athletics in my youth. So primarily like volleyball, basketball, softball, track. Of those, I think track was probably my most talented
Hmm.
area, long distance running. But in my late teens, early 20s, I found martial arts. And so jujitsu, boxing, some other Japanese martial arts, I think were my most talented and highly skilled sport that I played.
And what would you say you've learned? Is there anything that you've learned from just doing sports itself that have like shifted your direction and how you perform in the classroom? Like, is there like a correlation to that for you?
I think there are several. I think people can learn a lot. And if physical athletic talents aren't your thing, I think people can learn a lot from music.
Yes.
I wish I had musical talent. That is not a talent
Me
that I
too. I feel like if
have.
I could sing, like I would not stop singing. Like I
Mhm.
feel like people who like sing out there, like I don't know, like, they just I would love to just hear their voice like even across the street or something because it's just so beautiful. Like I wish I had that time. And I know I can perform it better. Like I know if I took classes, I could do like a better job. But it's like I don't know. Maybe it's not for me. But
It's certainly not the gift that I've been given to
yes,
grant to the world.
exactly. That's what I was saying.
But I think
Yeah.
when people participate in whether it's theater or music or athletics, like I did as a young person,
Mhm.
I think it teaches you so many lessons. For me, it taught me how to win.
Oh,
And everything I do, I want to win, and not for my own recognition, but here at CTEC, I want to win in that I want to be the best thing happening in public education in our country,
mhm.
because the more we win, the more every single one of you and your classmates and the students that we welcome in the next year and
Yeah.
the following year, if we are winning, then we're transforming lives in a way that nobody's doing
Yeah.
in public education in places where these systems are
Exactly.
not working
Yeah.
properly. So I think I learned, I think I just was imparted with a strong desire to win
Mhm.
and work hard and do whatever I need to, and to win as a team.
Mhm.
I think I love winning as a team.
Me too. I feel like
So,
being like just even like collaborating with others. I feel like for the longest time in my life, I realized that I feel like I was always meant to be in a team.
mhm,
I feel like there's one point in my life where I was like, okay, I feel like independency is very like me, you know. I feel
mhm,
like it was very like I just want to be alone. I just feel like maybe it could just like give me the worksheet. I'll finish it.
yeah,
But then like I realized like wait, it's not that bad working in a team. I feel like having more ideas like it releases some of the stress from the load of like of the work itself, but just even generally like having a team and having people that you can just connect to
mhm,
on like a day-to-day basis is just like even in sports or like even if you're not in sports, music or art, like collaborating with different artists, making different projects with like a band, like you know what I mean, like I feel like it's so much more refreshing, even like the band metaphor I use, like I feel like music sounds better when there's multiple people
right.
playing than just one person.
Mhm.
And that goes to almost everything. I feel like having a team and having a group of people that you can just like collaborate with, it's really refreshing and it's like it's nice. Yeah.
I think so too. And if you think about it, I was a solo teacher. We didn't have CTEC when I was early in my teaching
Mhm.
career. And the difference I could make just as your math teacher
Mm-hmm.
was not as impactful as the difference that your 3 teachers integrating curriculum working together
Mm-hmm.
in your CTEC program can make on you.
Yeah,
Right. And every single one of them individually is talented. You have 3 great teachers.
I do. Yeah.
But no one of them alone could, or even the 3 of them in isolation, if you had them one period here, one period there,
Mm-hmm.
could not make as big of an impact on you as they can make
Like together.
together
Yeah.
in the program that you have right now.
Yeah.
I think for me, the athletic comparison that we're talking about, as the principal, I see my role as the coach. And so whenever I need to hire a new teacher, in my mind, I'm like, I need to put talent on the field. So what's the most talented candidate who can come through here and add the most value to our team? And I get so excited every time we make a new hire. I get so excited about what that person is going to bring to the team.
Yeah.
And then my job is they're going to come in here with a dream. They want to make a difference. And every teacher, when you hire them into that position, is so excited. And then my job is to create and maintain the conditions that keep the belief in them that they can win.
That is really great. Like just even hearing that, I'm like, it just like it really like it touches me a little bit because like you would think that like just a principal is just somebody who just like I guess runs the school, but there's so much more to it. There's so much more, and like you've really opened my eyes just like hearing about it. Like you're building this team of like the school itself, and you're wanting all these different players that make different important roles into people's lives, even just like as students, or if not students, but people who just come into the building and like they automatically feel um included, and they feel welcome into the school, and that's such a great feeling because I've been to several different schools, and because I've transferred back and forth, but I've noticed that like throughout all the schools that I've been to, like CTEC has to be one of the most welcoming, like comforting schools that I've been to because they treat me like more as of like kind of like if I was like already on the field. Like if I was already in a career, it's like it's almost as if I walked into work and I'm greeted by my coworkers. It's that feeling, and that's almost undescribable. Yeah.
It's the culture of the building's so important. It's also something I'm really proud of. So I would stack our office staff up against any public school in the nation too. I've been told repeatedly, your office is so welcoming. Your office staff is incredible.
Yes.
And we really like when we hire people to come onto our team, those people are the first people that you meet when you walk in the building.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I want people to walk in the building and be like, it feels good to be here. And that job's so important. And the work that they do to serve our whole building, they are a big part of the reason our teachers believe they can win and stay motivated and inspired to inspire you all, right? And so it's so funny. People become involved with CTEC and literally tell me, I thought you guys were a cult at first. Everyone here was so happy, and I thought, this can't be real. This can't be real. And then I hung around and I was really happy being here too. I think every young professional, right, which is how we refer to our students.
I definitely learned a lot about professionalism being here. It has shaped the way I even present myself outside of the classroom. Like when I'm walking, like even on the street and I see somebody or they communicate with me, like it's like almost like if I have like an invisible like professional hat on, just placed.
I love that.
And it just clicks because like I'm just like, oh, like sometimes you don't know who you're gonna meet, and how you present yourself outside of the classroom is so important. And it's something I would preach about to young students, especially like me having like younger siblings, like being professional. And there's a time and place to just goof around a little bit, just let loose. But there's always a time when you're going to have to be professional, and having to set those standards for yourself are so, so gradually important. And I feel like CTEC here really shows that. And I feel like, and there's times at my resident school where I've learned about professionalism, but it isn't as preached enough as it is here at CTEC. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like, young professionals, as a 10th grader, students make the decision to come here for the technical skills in the program.
Yeah.
Right. But the greatest gift we give them are the professional skills.
Yeah.
Most people change careers a few times in their lifetime. I didn't think I was going to be a principal, right?
Yeah.
But those professional skills, you have them. If you change your passion and go into a totally different field, you take those with you and no one can ever take them away from you.
Yeah.
So that's the greatest gift. That's not why people come, but I do think it's the greatest gift we give to them.
One of my biggest things that I feel like when I was a 10th grader signing up for, I remember it was the fair
Yeah.
at my school's assembly. That had changed my mind. I feel like it was just almost like a blessing in disguise, because it was almost like I wasn't really feeling well that day, I remember, and I had walked in to the announcement, the intercom
Mhm.
went off saying all juniors, or not juniors, all 10th graders go
Mhm.
to the assembly. There's going to be assembly happening. And I was like, okay, I'll just go. And I had walked in there, I sat down on the bleachers, I had saw all these booths, and I was like, what is going on? Like, I was like, what are all these things? Like, I was like, okay, maybe it's just like one of those, like, fun cultural assemblies. So I went in, I sat down, and then you had came along the stage, and then I had noticed that you were like preaching about all these different programs, all these different benefits, how I would save money on, like, if I went to cosmetology or if I went to construction, about different certificates I would get. And it was just like mind blowing, because I was like, is this real? Like, do I have
Yes,
to pay for
yes.
this? Like, it was almost like a catch. Like, I
Yes.
was like, is this true? Like, and then I was talking to my friend about it after the assembly, and I had like fallen in love with two programs, which is the behavioral health program and the biomed program, because it's something I wanted to do in my career.
Right.
I really loved working with children. I loved working with young adults. I loved my original dream was I wanted to originally start to become like a therapist.
Mhm.
I really liked, that field. Um, and helping people in, like, even their regular day lives. But then I also loved the medical field, and I was just drawn between two things.
Mhm.
But once I had known about the program itself, CTEC, I was like the biomed program. I was like, wow! Like, even my first year being like here as a junior, like, it was mind blowing. I had seen so many field trips. I went to a cadaver lab, which was honestly the most craziest thing that I got to experience, because I feel like not many people get to experience that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Certainly not at this stage in their training,
yes,
right? In 11th
exactly.
grade. It's
Yeah.
an amazing experience.
Mhm.
I think, yeah, your response to our recruitment assembly is this for real, right?
Yeah, it was more like it was surreal. I was
Uh-huh.
like, wow. I was like, is this really going on?
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I'm talking about when people walk into the building too. They're like, everyone acts like they want to be here. Everybody
Yeah.
seems so inspired and so happy. Is this for real?
Mhm.
I don't see this as, are you a cult or is this for
Yeah.
real? And then when they stick around, they're like, no, everyone really wants to be here. And I think
Yeah, it shows. It really does show.
it does. I think we're really fortunate. And I think I feel this tremendous sense of responsibility to just maintain conditions where people can be inspired,
Mhm.
feel welcomed. I want every young professional, I want you to feel esteemed. I want your confidence to go up. I want you to learn that you can present yourself professionally and people will listen to you and take you more seriously because you know how to do that.
Mhm.
And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for every single one of you. And so for me, it's about hopefully the way I treat each of you in my interactions with you.
Yeah.
But even more than that, it's making sure I give our teachers what they need
Mhm.
so that they can do that for you.
Yeah, it really does show here, because I remember, like, even just like being in the biomed program,
Mhm.
I've got to see a lot of things and like do a lot of labs, and it was really exciting my first year doing all these cool things, and I'm using like all these machinery that
Mhm.
I would never really use in like a regular chemistry class. Like, it was so surreal. I was like even just like there was one point in my program where I was just like, wow, like, I'm truly so grateful to be here, because it really is a blessing, because a lot of not a lot of students don't really have these opportunities, and I really really wish that maybe one day CTEC or programs like this could be expanded through all districts, or like as close to they can in Oregon, so like at least multiple students could be able to have these programs. And I know that I have a couple friends who go to different schools,
Mhm.
and they noticed that they are also including more programs inside the classroom as well
Right.
too, like more curriculum. And I feel like that's so great, because it gives us those technical skills that students can actually use outside of the classroom and onto their careers.
I agree with you. I think we have such an opportunity in education to make an impact.
Mhm.
And I think for me, if we're leaving, if we're leaving any margin of that,
Mhm.
that where we could have made a bigger impact, that's
Yeah.
that's what I'm really motivated to change.
Yeah.
So
Is there any goals that you want to establish within like within the next 5 years, or is there something that you're slowly building on that you can like maybe let our
Mhm.
viewers know if you want like something that is like like a behind the doors like
Mhm.
project that you're working on?
Sure, sure. Well, it's interesting. I think uh, one thing that people ask me all the time is, are you opening any new programs? That's a
Yeah,
question that people get
that
really
is
excited
that is
about, right?
mine. I
Mhm.
remember last year I was like, I remember there was a robotics program
Yeah.
here too. I'd never known about that, but
Yeah. So, in terms of the CTEC origin story,
Mhm.
Mountain West Investment Corporation had this whole vision for our community. Nothing like this existed anywhere, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And Larry Jakarski, the CEO of Mountain West, he had this vision that school could be different. Not necessarily exactly the details of how to pull it off,
Mhm.
but just the idea that industry and education could come together and create an opportunity for students that we weren't creating
Yeah.
before this place existed, right?
Mhm.
And when Mountain West got involved, they really researched and they laid out what they thought would be the right 10 programs for CTEC. And in many cases, those programs were the right ones and they are successful and they're still here.
Yeah.
But in a few cases, there were some adaptations that needed to be made. So even though I arrived and CTEC had been offering programs for 2 years and had only 4 programs, I was here to open the next 6 programs, but they were already selected. I didn't choose them. Many of them I would have chosen,
Okay.
but they weren't necessarily programs that I chose. They were already part of Mountain West plan. And you referenced that we had robotics, right?
Mhm.
So we had drone technology and robotics here in our building, and that's a great high tech, amazing program.
Mhm.
Because it is a narrow focus,
Yeah.
we couldn't draw that many students into the program.
Yeah, because I think it like kind of like you mentioned, it
Hmm.
was basically like the population of
Hmm.
the amount of students that will actually join the program.
Right.
And I feel like that even sometimes I've heard in other programs, like remember when joining, they say cosmetology and culinary were like the big hits. Like
Uh-huh.
those were very, very competitive. And I didn't personally want to go into those programs, but I
Hmm.
knew a lot of people that
A
did,
lot.
and those were very, very popular. And
Mhm.
yeah, I can understand that population dynamic. Yeah.
Right. And so we thought, well, how can we still offer what is going very well for the young people taking us up on this opportunity, but expand it? And the workforce shortages in airplane piloting and aircraft maintenance
Mhm.
uh, provided the inspiration to open CTEC Aviation. So we took that drones and robotics and we relocated it to the airport
Yeah.
and we added airplane piloting and aircraft maintenance. And now we have CTEC Aviation literally located at the
Yeah,
airport.
it is. I just think honestly that is one of like the coolest
It's
programs.
so cool.
It is like I've been there once,
Mhm.
and it was so surreal. Like the type of technology that they use, and like being able to like even at the hangars, like being able to
Yes.
like see like actual like drones and like those jets. I feel like it's just so awesome.
So
Like
cool.
when like what classroom at high school can like actually provide that? Because from what I know, I there's not many, but
Right,
yeah.
right. No, it's a really unusual experience being immersed right there in aviation located at the airport. So
Mhm.
you have industry professionals come in all the time for,
Yeah.
to your classes. So they've even had industry professionals fly in and taxi right up to the hangar door
Really?
of their shop area. So it's
That's
pretty
really
cool.
cool.
So that was something that I was excited about and proud to be able to take an idea and then see it through to completion. And then our drones lab was located right by the CTEC Commons in the very heart and center of our building.
Mhm.
And so then that space was vacated, right?
Oh, okay.
And one of the things I always say is an empty program space never changed anyone's lives.
Mhm.
And so I thought, what can we do with this space that will have the biggest impact on our community that we can possibly make? Because again, for me, it's all about the impact. This
Yes.
is what drives me, right?
Mhm.
Innovation and impact, I think, are my two biggest values.
Mhm.
And so I wanted to do something that would have the greatest positive benefit
Mhm.
and also maybe something no one's ever done before. I just thought that would be really amazing.
Honestly, I think those are the best ideas. Like having
Right.
something that nobody has ever done, like a product or like even like a program itself, like that is
Mhm.
like it's like almost as it's like its own thing. Like not like it can't be unmatched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that is exactly like that's what I was coming for. What could we do that maybe no one's even thought of that could make a huge positive difference? And no one anywhere in K-12 public education, we could not find a behavioral health program on the books anywhere like the one that we have here. And so we started one. And it took some convincing. People are afraid of things they've never seen before sometimes.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of convincing. But at the same time, there was so much excitement around it because at the time, Oregon was 49th out of the 50 states in the number of qualified mental health providers for the documented mental health needs in our state.
Mm-hmm.
And so people knew we needed it. They were handing us money left and right to open the program, things like that. And so we were able, without using any Salem-Keizer money, to set up and outfit that program because our community wanted it so badly. And so it felt so great to open that program and go first. And then I think what I love in terms of, that impact that starts little and ripples out.
Yes. It's
So
like the
people,
domino effect of itself.
it's exactly what it is. And people have come from all over the state and from other states to look at our program and then go back and open one where they live.
That is awesome.
It's
I
been
love
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I hope that like if one day like when I'm older and I can tell like my friends or like even like if I have children one day being like I hope to see that there's more opportunities and more like advancements in like the education system because I feel like the education system like there's a lot of places where it needs improvement but honestly like where we at right now there's so much great benefits, there's so much great opportunities, there's so much like beneficial things that a student can get like me that I would never even expect. Like I would never ever like expect me being here right now was like how I would expect, I would be like, what? Like I'm doing labs with involving these chemicals and going to see these things. Like that's so like it's a lot of like it's not just even about the advancement itself, but it's more of just like also the experience, being able to be here and experience these things and just live in the moments that because these are what will one day be memories and I feel like I've created some of the best memories here and they're the ones that will like live with me forever.
You're having experiences that a lot of people have in grad school,
Yes.
that you're having
Yes.
now, which is just so amazing if you think about it.
Yeah, like honestly, like it's one of the greatest things. And speaking of the different programs, is there one program that you would want to like highlight that has probably like been maybe like the hardest to produce or maybe a program that you notice that like it's been a challenging start but it's so great that it's here?
Oh gosh, it'd be so hard for me to pick. I love our programs and I'm so proud of what our programs have done. And they're all in such different phases of development, So with behavioral health being one of our very newest programs, I'm so proud of, the growth they've made just this year. Because if you think about a program being 3 or 4 years old, the growth you make between age 3 and age 4 as a little human, you're a different little human from 3-year-old to 4-year-old, where the difference between my age and the age I was last year is not a lot of difference, right? So our younger programs are making leaps and bounds right now in their development. And so that's really exciting for me as kind of like the coach or parent of the team. Your program, I think one of the things I'm so proud of for the program that you're in is this was a program that was incredible at CTEC, doing amazing things for the very small handful of young professionals enrolled in it. But all the lab skills and the biotech skills that you're getting were initially slated to be all through an agricultural agri-science lens. And when we go out to every high school in Salem-Keizer, 10th graders were not interested in an agricultural agri-science lens to biotechnology. And so even though I had some amazingly talented teachers, I had cool equipment, and the young people who were here were getting a great experience, I could only ever halfway fill the program. And I thought, we've got to broaden our impact. We need to make an impact on more of you, right? We wanted more of you here. Because I always also say an empty program seat never changed anyone's lives. So we had a program, but there were too many empty seats. And there were a few different directions we could go. But when we were at those assemblies, like the one you referenced as a 10th grader, right? People would come up to me and say, do you have a medical one? And at that time, I always had to say, we don't, right? And so then I thought, if we're going to expand biotech beyond plants, we've got to go the medical direction because you guys were asking me for it. Every school I went to, you guys were asking me for it. And now you've got a bunch of classmates in your program. And that means that we, instead of having half full seats, we've got full seats and we can make a bigger impact.
Yeah. And honestly, like I can add on to that. There's like a lot of times when like even just like life itself, there's going to become times where it's like this was good for the moment, but looking at the future, it's probably something that just needs to be changed or evolved. And that's okay. And we as humans, we evolve every single day. We're
That's
making
true.
new decisions, we're making new choices that will impact our lives for tomorrow. Um even ones that we don't even realize. And I feel like programs themselves, they change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's like even like the robotics. It was here and it was
Right.
good for the time it was here, but then it
Mm-hmm.
evolved to something great. And I feel like now we have our like the video game design.
Mm-hmm.
One of my friends are also in there, and I just noticed that like when they're in there, they're working and have like all these different like technical skills that they're also building. I feel like it's so amazing, and maybe one day that'll evolve too, and it'll become great for the time that it's being here. And I feel like if it comes for a season, it's at least great that the season was here and it could produce beautiful things to students who needed it at that moment. But then there's obviously going to be new programs, and I feel like CTEC will always be changing, but changing for the better.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And, to contrast our younger programs, one of the very first programs that opened 11 years ago
Hmm.
was our residential construction program, right?
Hmm.
And so I arrived, that program had been open for 2 years, and it was already really super cool. In the second year of the program, they would build a house each year, and that's cool. And it's so cool that I think most programs would rest on that accomplishment
Hmm.
and be doing the same thing 9 years later,
Yeah.
but not our program. So, like I said, I'm so proud of so many different teams and
Hmm.
things happening in our programs. But for our construction program to already be pretty cool
Hmm.
and be able to rest on that and be like, nailed it, and to continue to innovate. So now the young professionals in the program compete with their home design, and the winning design is built the next year.
Yeah.
So it's not just a student built home, it's a student designed home. In year one of the program, they used to build sheds. Now they're building tiny homes, temporary housing units. Instead of just building the shell of a house or a structure, they're doing all the wiring, the
I went in
plumbing.
there for I was an ambassador last year, and I went in there and I just saw the most like amazing it was like almost like it was like a tiny home,
It
and
was,
it was
yeah.
at like what was it? The electricals were all done. The like the walls and everything. Like it was like somebody could actually like live in there. Like it was so beautifully built. I was like so proud. Like even just like seeing the students in there. Like they put so much time and effort into those projects.
Yeah.
And even like if I could like talk to my younger self, like I would just tell them like, bro, just keep going. Like you got this. And that's one thing. I just look at them and I'm just like, I'm so proud of just each and every one of them because
Well, it's so cool because everything you saw was inside of our shop here on campus, which means it was built by a year one student. So they've only been here for a few months. Our year twos are building a house, a few miles up the road.
a
So you're
junior
thinking
high
they've been
school.
here for a few months and they've already accomplished all that.
Yeah.
It's insane what you can accomplish with a really talented teaching team and the right conditions, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. But I think like for that program, I'm proud of how they've continued to push.
Hmm.
And now you can leave as a licensed building code inspector.
Yes.
That's insane. That's
That is
amazing.
honestly like something you would have to like go to trade school for.
100%. No one's doing that in K-12 public education.
Exactly.
And so I think I'm proud of every single one of our programs. It would take us like 10 hours to talk about it, but
Yeah.
I think I'm proud of them for all different reasons. So for that particular program, I'm proud that they didn't just rest on a couple cool things they were doing. Innovation and impact are my two values, I told you.
Yeah.
And they continue to innovate and push so that they can increase the impact. And I value and appreciate that about my team.
Yeah.
When your program pivoted to add a medical aspect to it, your teachers could have done that halfway. They could have put half effort into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Mhm.
They poured their hearts and soul into revamping everything about the curriculum.
Yes.
Got brand new equipment.
Yes.
They
I
don't do
noticed that. It was
anything
honestly
halfway.
so amazing.
They don't do anything halfway. They redesign everything from the space to every single unit they teach. I'm so proud of that and
Yeah.
so inspired by them.
Like if there was, I know like we're kind of redirecting, but like if there was one advice that you can give to your younger self as the person you are in this moment, what would it be?
Ooh, boy, I'm gonna have to think on that because listen, my younger self needed a lot of advice.
Yeah, honestly, mine did too. I feel like mine needed a lot of discipline, and now I feel like even just like my older, like even the person I become right now, like I have built so much discipline skills and like being consistent. I realized that a lot consistency is more important than I feel like sometimes motivation, because motivation is just like a feeling that you get when you want to do something. But my teachers have taught me sometimes you need to have consistency. It's the little steps that you take that can end to the result faster than sometimes having a motivation. And the motivation is just like a little boost in the process of that. And that if that was one advice I can give to my younger self, it would just be consistent with everything that you do. And it's kind of just also like a promise that you make to yourself to finish the task and to complete it, even if it didn't work out. Because there's some
Right.
times in life when things just don't work out, and that's okay. But realizing that you were consistent and you tried and tried and tried and you didn't give up was one of, I think, the one of the best things I could probably tell my younger self.
I think that's such good advice to anyone,
Yeah.
including your younger self.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think my younger self, so I was definitely talented in terms of academic gifts and things like that. But then definitely hyperactive, poor impulse control,
Hmm.
you know, had a hard time with emotional regulation.
Yeah.
And I think we were talking about athletics earlier.
Hmm.
That's what martial arts gave me.
Oh.
Martial arts gave me self-discipline, self-regulation. You
Hmm.
had to keep your emotions in check. Back in the day when I did martial arts, they could do anything they wanted to you. They could beat
Wow.
you. So I had to learn how to keep myself in check and
Yeah.
and self-disciplined and things like that. And I'm so thankful for that. And I think I had to learn some of those lessons the hard way, and
Yeah.
and I'm
Sometimes you just have
thankful.
to learn it the hard way.
Yeah.
Like it's honestly a lot of people think that it's just like you'll like learn just by observing, but sometimes you have to have the impact in order to learn something. It's just like how just life is.
It's so true. Now, when I work with young people who
Mhm.
maybe make some mistakes while they're here,
Mhm.
I try to tell them things that I know will save them pain. And
Yes.
sometimes I can save them from some pain. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm like, you know what, they're going to have to make this mistake and
Yeah.
just find out from the pain. And
Yeah.
I had that as well.
Yeah.
But I think for my younger self, if I could get myself down that road faster, the advice I would give myself is one of our CTEC maxims. We have a list of sayings,
Mhm.
our CTEC maxims that we say, and one of them is always play the long game, always win.
Yeah.
So I used to get hung up on little things,
Mhm.
and now I know we might have a setback.
Mhm.
It's just a setback.
Yeah.
We're playing the long game. We're not going to stop at a setback. And it's what you were talking about persistence and
Mhm.
consistency, your advice to yourself.
Yeah.
I think mine's really similar.
Mhm.
View a setback as a setback. Don't get overly emotional about it
Mhm.
because you're not going to stop. You're going to play the long game and you're going to win.
Yeah, I feel like I can just relate to that so much because it's like sometimes like in life itself, like even like if I'm in the career
Mhm.
that I choose to pursue one day, I feel that being consistent, especially like I know that like even college is very difficult and you're gonna have setbacks. You're gonna have times where it's gonna be difficult and hard. But one advice that um someone of mine told me in my family is that the you have two choices. The choices that you make can both be difficult,
Mhm.
but understanding that choosing yourself and that choosing the hard thing is sometimes going to be the best option because it's going to end with a better result. And I feel like to me that is so like it is so beautiful because I feel like sometimes in like life, like even
Mhm.
here at CTEC, there's hard things that we do, but those hard things, sorry, and some of the most beautiful outcomes, and it really shapes how I see things, how I do things here, and even like you mentioned, like it that consistency, it's like it's what keeps me going.
Yeah, I'm so thankful. Some of the things I'm the most thankful of in my
Mhm.
life are the challenges.
Yeah.
I think I told you earlier in our conversation, I moved to Boston. I worked in Boston public
Mhm.
schools for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
And when I moved there, boy, it's an inner city setting. So I moved from working in West Salem
Mhm.
to working in an urban inner city setting with very at risk youth in
Yeah.
Boston public schools. And I thought I was ready. I was not ready. I was not even close to being ready. And I had to work so hard. I had so much to learn and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to work so hard. Boy, the first 6 months, I I failed a lot. I failed a lot, but I didn't quit and I didn't give up. And it's amazing what you can do when you have no choice. I had to pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept working at it. And my teaching growth grew more in those 3 years
Mm-hmm.
than they had in the 5 years previously.
Yeah.
I had 5 years of experience when I moved there.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I probably grew 3 times as much in those 3 years
Yeah.
because it was hard. I'm so thankful for that now.
Yeah. And just to finish us off, I feel like just having that realization that there's gonna be times in life where it's just like you're gonna grow. Like one year you might grow like this much, and then the next year you might grow whole lot more. It's just the way that life comes, I guess. And if there's any like last minute thoughts or things that you'd want to share with the people watching, feel free. Yeah. Is there any like personal like tips or tricks that you would want to like let them know?
I would say, if I take a lesson from Larry Tokarski, we're living and sitting in his vision right now. And I would say, if you see something around you
Mm-hmm.
and you know it can be better, instead of saying, well, there's nothing I can do about it, there's almost always something
Yeah.
you can do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And my advice is do it. If you see something around you that could be better, what can I do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And do it, because you never know the impact you can make.
Honestly, that is so beautiful. I feel like that is just something I'm going to take. And that's going to be it for today's episode. Thank you, Miss Rose, for being here. I appreciate you and all the beautiful things that you've said. And look forward to next episode. Bye, guys.
Bye.